All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 90th Interpol General Assembly in New Delhi today. Prime Minister to also review site work progress of Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal in Gujarat this evening. 12th Deaf Expo to begin today in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Central Election Committee of the BJP to meet today to finalize candidates for Himachal Pradesh Assembly polls. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres to arrive on a 3-day visit to India today. Britain's new Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt reverses most of economic package announced by government just weeks ago. Japan to conduct probe into Unification Church after assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. An Indian pistol shooter Samir wins silver medal at ISSF World Championship in Cairo, Egypt. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the 90th Interpol General Assembly at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi today. The 4-day General Assembly of Interpol will begin today and will conclude on the 21st of this month. CBI Special Director Praveen Sinha has informed that Home Minister Amit Shah will be the chief guest in the concluding session.
It is a particular matter of real happiness for us that this coincides with the 75th year of India's independence celebrations, the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Interpol completes 100 years of its existence next year. It was in 1923 that the Interpol in its present form was set up. So this particular General Assembly is also very, very important because the centenary celebrations of Interpol are being kicked off from New Delhi during this General Assembly from 18th to 21st of October 2022.
Interacting with the media in New Delhi, Interpol Chief Jürgen Stock spoke about the increase in violence in the real and virtual world, causing social and economic impact on governments and businesses. The Interpol Chief said organized crime networks are making billions of dollars. Mr. Stock said 99% of stolen assets remain in criminal hands is of greater concern.
The world is facing unprecedented threats with regards to transnational organized crime, terrorism and cybercrime, which is a borderless crime by nature. Organized crime groups are really acting on a transcontinental level in conducting their criminal activity in terms of money laundering activities. We see terrorist groups being in contact with each other also across the continents. We see a lot of terrorists traveling and using commodities like illegal firearms trafficking to conduct their terrorist activities.
Mr. Stock called for increasing the fight to protect the most vulnerable in the world. More from a correspondent.
The 90th Interpol General Assembly will be attended by delegations from 195 Interpol member countries comprising of ministers, police chiefs of countries, heads of national central bureaus and senior police officers. The General Assembly is the international policing organization's top governing body and meets once a year to take key decisions related to its functioning. The General Assembly is taking place in India after 25 years as part of country's 75th Independence Day celebrations. It was last held in India in 1997. The event provides an opportunity to showcase best practices in India's law and order system to the entire world. With Subhag, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Delhi Police has issued advisory ahead of Interpol meet. The advisory says that traffic volume on several roads in Lutyens area and other areas would be regulated and commuters in the vicinity of New Delhi district could encounter delays. The Prime Minister will review the site work progress of the National Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal in Gujarat at around 5 p.m. today via video conferencing. This will be followed by his address on the occasion. Lothal was one of the prominent cities of the Harappan civilization and is known for the discovery of the oldest man-made dockyard. A maritime heritage complex in Lothal is a fitting tribute to the city's historical legacy and heritage. The construction of the complex started in March this year at the cost of around 3,500 crore rupees. It has been developed as a one-of-its-kind project to not only display India's rich and diverse maritime heritage and also help Lothal to emerge as a world-class international tourist destination. Talking to AI News, Minister of State for Tourism Shripad Yesso Naik said the project has been developed to show the ancient wisdom of India to the world.
वो जो नोडल प्रोजेक्ट आ जाता है और वो अभी उसका डेवलपमेंट करना, ये जो हम कितने आगे थे, शिपिंग में कितने आगे थे, ये एक दर्शाने वाला ये प्रोजेक्ट है। और वहाँ वो प्रोजेक्ट हम पूरे देश को, वहाँ के लोगों के लिए भी हम वो प्रदर्शित करेंगे। वहाँ बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट अभी बन रहा है और आज इसके बारे में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री की जायजा ले लेंगे और कहाँ तक प्रोजेक्ट पहुँचा है, कहाँ तक हमें कंप्लीट करना है और इसका काम वहाँ चल रहा है।
The Prime Minister yesterday launched various initiatives for farmers at Indian Agricultural Research Institute in New Delhi. They include PM Kisan Samman Sammelan 2022, Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Urvark Pariyojana, One Nation, One Fertilizer, unveiling of 600 Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samruddhi Kendra, and release of the 12th installment of 16,000 crore rupees to eligible farmers under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi through direct benefit transfer. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the Agri Startup Conclave, an exhibition and an e-magazine on fertilizer, Indian Edge. Speaking at the occasion, Mr. Modi said the need of the hour is to adopt technology-based modern farming techniques. He said startups and innovative youth are the future of Indian agriculture and the rural economy of India. Mr. Modi said over 22 crore soil health cards have been distributed so that farmers have ready information about their land and harvest. The Prime Minister said India is working towards Atmanirbharta in urea production and moving towards liquid nano urea. He said this will be a major milestone for the agriculture sector.
इन कंपनियों के प्रचार अभियानों के कारण और वहाँ जो फर्टिलाइजर बेचने वाले लोग होते हैं, जिसको ज्यादा कमीशन मिलता है तो वो ब्रांड ज्यादा बेचता है, कमीशन कम मिलता है तो वो ब्रांड बेचता नहीं है और इसके कारण किसान को जरूरत के हिसाब से जो गुणवत्ता वाला खाद मिलना चाहिए, वो इन स्पर्धा के कारण, भिन्न भिन्न नामों के कारण और वो बेचने वाले एजेंटों की मनमानी के कारण किसान परेशान रहता था। इन सारी समस्याओं को एक साथ एड्रेस किया गया है। अब वन नेशन वन फर्टिलाइजर से किसान को हर तरह के भ्रम से मुक्ति मिलने वाली है और बेहतर खाद भी उपलब्ध होने वाली और ये ब्रांड है भारत।
The 12th edition of Biennial Deaf Expo will begin at Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar in Gujarat today. Live demonstrations showcasing the equipment and skill set of the armed forces, DPSUs and industry will be held during the 5-day event. The theme of the expo this year is Path to Pride. Over 1,300 exhibitors including various defense PSUs and private industries, startups and states will participate in the exhibition. Briefing media, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said this will be the largest ever defence expo showcasing India's capabilities in the defence manufacturing sector. He said India, which was once known as the world's one of the biggest importers of defence products, has now been among the top 25 defence exporters in the world.
अमृतकाल की प्रारंभिक बेला में इस डेफ एक्सपो का आयोजन अगले 25 वर्षों में एरोस्पेस एंड डिफेंस सेक्टर में अग्रणी देशों में शामिल होने के भारत के संकल्प को दर्शाता है। हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की डायनेमिक लीडरशिप में भारत के डिफेंस सेक्टर ने पिछले कुछ वर्षों में पूरे समर्पण के साथ पाथ टू प्राइड की तरफ कदम अपने आगे बढ़ाए हैं। हमारा डिफेंस सेक्टर वैश्विक स्तर पर डिजाइन, डेवलपमेंट और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में महारत हासिल करने की ओर तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ा है।
The participants will get an opportunity to showcase their equipment and platforms and be able to explore the strengths and capabilities of the expanse of Indian defence industry for forging business partnerships. Live demonstration by the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard and DRDO showcasing land, naval and air procedures and systems in action will be held in the evening daily at Sabarmati riverfront. They will include combat free fall, sarang halo aerobatics, slithering from halo into a boat, high-speed boat runs and neutralizing enemy post, the Defence Ministry said in a statement. The India Pavilion, a marked pavilion of Department of Defence Production, Ministry of Defence, will showcase the maturity of indigenous defence products, startups, latest technology including AI in defense, and will present India's vision for 2047.
The Central Election Committee CEC of the BJP will meet in New Delhi today to finalize party candidates for Himachal Pradesh Assembly polls. A meeting of the BJP core group was held in the national capital yesterday, which was attended by party's National President JP Nadda, General Secretary BL Santosh, Home Minister Amit Shah, and Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Jairam Thakur, among others. Assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh will be held on November 12th. Filing of nominations for all 68 seats began yesterday with the issuance of notification. In the last Assembly elections in 2017, BJP got an absolute majority by winning 44 seats in the 68-member House. The Congress party managed to win only 21 seats in that election. In Telangana, 47 candidates now remain in the fray for the by-election to Munugor Assembly constituency after the withdrawal of nominations. The by-election is slated to be held on the 3rd of November. 36 candidates withdrew the nominations yesterday. Resignation of K. Rajagopal Reddy, who left the Congress party, necessitated the by-election. This time he is contesting on a BJP ticket. The ruling TRS has fielded K. Prabhakar Reddy, while the Congress fielded P. Shravanti. Besides the major political parties, candidates from about 10 registered parties and a considerable number of independents are also in the fray. The independents include unemployed and people who have been displaced by the Cherla-Godam reservoir.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 90th Interpol General Assembly in New Delhi today. Prime Minister to also review site work progress of Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal in Gujarat this evening. 12th Deaf Expo to begin today in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Central Election Committee of BJP to meet today to finalize candidates for Himachal Pradesh Assembly polls. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres to arrive on a 3-day visit to India today. Britain's new Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt reverses most of economic package announced by government just weeks ago. Japan to conduct probe into Unification Church after assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And Indian pistol shooter Samir wins silver medal at ISSF World Championship in Cairo, Egypt. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
I am India. Look at me. Know my name.
We're one of the most mega diverse countries on this planet.
Our weddings, our fashion statements, they're all inspired by our silver screen heroes and heroines.
A 75 years young India.
What we are really going to see India become is a powerhouse.
India 2.0.
The Journey of India from 14th October every Friday at 7 p.m. in Hindi and 10 p.m. in English on DD National.
जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम जब जुड़े लोग से लोग वोट बने तब लोकतंत्र का सिस्टम मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जुड़ते जाए बने तब ऐसा नया कनेक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन मतदाता जंक्शन.
Welcome back to the morning news. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is arriving on a 3-day official visit to India today. This is his first visit to India since he assumed his second term in office in January this year. Mr. Guterres will commence his visit by paying tributes to the victims of the 26/11 terror attacks at the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Mumbai. He will also deliver an address at IIT Mumbai on India at 75, UN-India partnership strengthening South-South cooperation. Antonio Guterres will join Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the launch of the Mission Life Lifestyle for Environment booklet, logo and tagline on Thursday at Kevadia in Gujarat. Mission Life will be India's signature initiative at the United Nations and other international platforms for showcasing climate action and early achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. Guterres is expected to pay floral tributes at the Statue of Unity. He will also visit India's first solar-powered village and sun temple at Modhera in Gujarat. Britain's new Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt has overturned most of the economic package announced by the government just weeks ago, including a planned cut to income tax. In a televised address, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Hunt said he was scrapping almost all of new Prime Minister Liz Truss's tax cuts, along with a flagship energy policy and a promise that there will be no public spending cuts. Former Foreign and Health Minister Hunt was appointed on Friday after Prime Minister Truss sacked Kwasi Kwarteng after less than 6 weeks in the job. A 2-year energy support scheme for households and businesses will now end in April. It will be replaced by a more targeted scheme that will cost the taxpayers significantly less than planned. Prime Minister Truss and Kwarteng announced £45 billion in unfunded tax cuts on 23rd September that spooked financial markets. It also sent the pound to the record low and forced the Bank of England to take emergency action. The plan did not give details on how they would pay for them.
Japan government has ordered a probe into the religious corporation previously known as Unification Church after assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has said that a government hotline set up to receive complaints and inquiries related to the church has resulted in more than 1,700 cases that have been handled by the police and legal experts. Mr. Kishida said he takes seriously the fact that many victims face financial difficulty and their families were destroyed, but the government has not been able to provide adequate support. A government panel submitted a report earlier yesterday that found many financial problems and lawsuits stemming from the church's methods. Former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot dead during an outdoor campaign speech in July. The suspect, Tetsuya Yamagami, told police he killed Abe because of his apparent link to the Unification Church. He said his mother's large donations to the church bankrupted his family and ruined his life. Back home, President Draupadi Murmu has appointed Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud as the new Chief Justice of India. In a tweet, Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju said Justice Chandrachud's appointment will come into effect from the 9th of next month. He will succeed present Chief Justice of India, Justice Uday Umesh Lalit. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud would be the 50th Chief Justice of India.
Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia will address the Conference of the Ministers of Civil Aviation of States and Union Territories in New Delhi today. In this direction, Civil Aviation Ministry organized the conference of the Secretaries of Civil Aviation of all the states and Union Territories in New Delhi yesterday. Chairing the inaugural session, Secretary of the Ministry Rajiv Bansal said that the aviation sector has witnessed a lot of progress in the last year. During the conference, the Secretary requested states to reduce VAT on aviation turbine fuel and appreciated those states which have already done it. Mumbai Airport's runway will be closed today between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. due to maintenance activities. Due to this yearly activity, many flights have been rescheduled. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport authorities have informed that post-monsoon preventive runway maintenance will be carried out today on both runways.
In Jammu and Kashmir, police has arrested a hybrid terrorist of Lashkar-e-Taiba who had lobbed a hand grenade on 2 non-local labourers last night at Harmain village in Shopian district. In a tweet, ADGP Kashmir Vijay Kumar said the raids are being conducted in the valley in this connection. Police said that the labourers got injured and were shifted to a nearby hospital. However, both of them succumbed to their injuries. The deceased have been identified as Munish Kumar and Ram Sagar from Uttar Pradesh. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, which aims to bring about a transformational shift in the way our society looks at the girl child.
In the last 8 years, central government has given a lot of emphasis on the issue of girl-child's education and declining child sex ratio, CSR. The main objective of the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme is to ensure survival and protection of the girl child. It also ensures education and participation of the girl child through coordinated and convergent efforts. The scheme was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015 at Panipat in Haryana. Mr. Modi said there is an urgent need to reduce the increasing imbalance amongst the girl and boy child for the betterment of the society.
गांव, पंचायत, परिवार, समाज के लोग इन सब ने दायित्व निभाना पड़ेगा और तभी जाकर के हम इस असंतुलन को मिटा सकते हैं। ये रातों रात मिटने वाला नहीं है। करीब करीब 50 साल से ये पाप चला है। आने वाले 100 साल तक हमें जागरूक रूप से प्रयास करना पड़ेगा, तब जाकर के शायद इस स्थिति को हम सुधार पाएंगे। और इसलिए मैंने कहा, आज का ये जो पानीपत की धरती पर हम संकल्प कर रहे हैं, ये संकल्प आने वाली सदियों तक पीढ़ियों की भलाई करने के लिए है।
The census 2011 data showed a significant declining trend in the child sex ratio, calculated as number of girls for every 1,000 boys between the age group of 0 to 6 years, with an all-time low of 918 in 2011 from 976 in 1961. The decline was widespread across the country and had expanded to rural as well as tribal areas. Worried by the sharp decline, the Government of India has introduced Beti Bachao Beti Padhao program to address the issue of decline in CSR in 100 gender-critical districts. With coordinated and convergent efforts, the government had ensured survival, protection and education of the girl child. After the launch of the scheme, the child sex ratio at birth has improved to 937 in 2020-21 from 918 in 2014-15. Gross enrollment ratio for women in higher education has increased from 19.8% in 2012-13 to 27.3% in 2019-20. Mr. Modi said, expanded in a phased manner, the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme has currently been implemented in all the 640 districts of the country. The scheme is divided into 3 components. First, advocacy campaigns were launched to address the issue of declining child sex ratio and sex ratio at birth. Second, multi-sectoral interventions were planned and have been implemented in gender-critical districts across the country. And third, a financial incentive-linked scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi scheme, was launched to encourage parents to build a fund for female children.
इस सुकन्या समृद्धि योजना के तहत 10 साल से कम उम्र की बेटी 1,000 रुपया से लेकर के 1.5 लाख रुपए तक उसके माँ बाप पैसे बैंक में जमा कर सकते हैं। और सरकार की तरफ से हिंदुस्तान में किसी भी प्रकार की परंपरा में ब्याज दिया जाता है, उससे ज्यादा ब्याज इस बेटी को दिया जाएगा।
Sunil Jaglan, Sarpanch of Bibipur village in Haryana, came up with an interesting initiative, Selfie with Daughter, to save the girl child and spread awareness about the issue.
मेरा नाम सुनील जागलान है और मैं बीबीपुर गांव का सरपंच रहा हूं। जब सेल्फी विद डॉटर के बारे में हमने सोशल मीडिया पर और दोस्तों के सामने शेयर किया तो कुछ खास व्यूज नहीं आए, लेकिन मुझे ये पता था कि हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री से लेकर युवाओं में सेल्फी का बहुत बड़ा क्रेज है और हमें आगे आने वाली जनरेशन को अगर लिंगानुपात की संवेदनशीलता का महत्व समझाना है तो इसके लिए जरूरी है कि यूथ सोशल मीडिया को एक वेपन की तरह यूज करे ताकि लिंगानुपात संवेदनशीलता का महत्व उनके दिमाग पर असर कर जाए।
Prime Minister Modi in his Mann Ki Baat program lauded the Bibipur Sarpanch for starting the Selfie with Daughter initiative. The Prime Minister also urged people to share their selfies with daughters, and it soon became a worldwide hit. People from across India and the world shared their selfies with daughters, and this became a proud occasion for all those
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ can be accessed on @AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune in to All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath.
Indian pistol shooter Sameer won a silver medal in the 25-meter rapid-fire pistol men junior event of the International Shooting Sport Federation ISSF World Championships in Cairo, Egypt yesterday. Sonipat's shooter got 23 hits in the medal match, finishing behind Wang Shiwen of China. Sameer had shot 573 in the qualification to finish 4th and then hit 10 hits to Yang Pan's 12 in the ranking round to make it to the medal round. The women's air pistol team's gold medal match will be held today. Esha Singh, Shikha Narwal and Varsha Singh topped their first qualification stage with a score of 855 to make it to the title round. India have won so far a total of 14 medals, including 5 gold, 3 silver and 6 bronze medals in the ongoing ISSF Championship. They remain second in the standings behind China. Jyoti Yarraji has created history by becoming the first Indian woman to clock a legal sub-13 second time in 100-meter hurdles while smashing her own record at the National Open Athletics Championships in Bangalore yesterday. The 23-year-old Yarraji, representing Railways, cruised to a victory in 12.82 seconds, and with the wind gauge reading 0.9 meter, she could not be denied her national record timing a second time. She had won the same event in the National Games in Gandhinagar in a time of 12.79 seconds, but was supported by the wind that exceeded the permissible limit. Her earlier national record was 13.04, set in May. Jyoti hit the front by the time the 7 athletes got to the second hurdle and was a comfortable winner.
The India Under-20 men's national football team will play host Kuwait in their last match of the AFC Under-20 Asian Cup qualifiers today. The match will kick off at 10 p.m. Indian time at the Ali Sabah Al Salem Stadium. India went down fighting 2-4 and 1-4 in their first 2 group matches against Iraq and Australia. After Iraq beat host Kuwait 2-0 yesterday, India have been mathematically ruled out of the qualification scenario for the tournament proper. The Hyderabad-based Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology has become part of the world's largest and most diverse genomic study covering 54 lakh individuals. It identified 12,222 places in the human genome that are associated with human height. The study, by the name A Saturated Map of Common Genetic Variants Associated with Human Height, was published in Nature Science Journal recently. Researchers from across the world, including Chief Scientist Dr. G.R. Chandak from CCMB, came together to form a consortium to study genetic links to human height.
Now let us take a look at the weather across the country today. National capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In the south, Hyderabad will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Bangalore will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. In the northeast, Guwahati will have partly cloudy sky. Agartala and Gangtok will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal and Shillong will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. PM releases 16 crore rupees under PM Kisan scheme, leads the statesman, adding small farmers associated with perishable products will be the biggest beneficiaries. Kharge versus Tharoor, 96% turnout in Congress poll to elect non-Gandhi chief, reports the Times of India. 41.5 crore Indians exited multi-dimensional poverty since 2005-2006, notes the Hindu. UK's new Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt reverses all of Liz Truss tax cuts, informs the Tribune. Writing on the BCCI AGM, the Pioneer says, Binny to be elected 36th BCCI president, but questions remain on ICC chairmanship. And finally, Sri Lankan author Shehan Karunatilaka wins 2022 Booker Prize, informs the Hindustan Times.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 90th Interpol General Assembly in New Delhi today. Prime Minister to also review site work progress of Maritime Heritage Complex at Lothal in Gujarat this evening. 12th Deaf Expo to begin today in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Central Election Committee of the BJP to meet today to finalize candidates for Himachal Pradesh Assembly polls. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres to arrive on a 3-day visit to India today. Britain's new Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt reverses most of economic package announced by government just weeks ago. Japan to conduct probe into Unification Church after assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And Indian pistol shooter Samir wins silver medal at the ISSF World Championship in Cairo, Egypt. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.